Hello, everybody, and happy 2019. If I haven't seen you since last year, and I probably haven't because I haven't been live, I just wanted to make sure that I put that out there. I am T. You might know me from my sewing blog, Sewing by T, or my fabric shop, Simply by T. But no matter how you got here, if you love sewing, you're in the right place. So I just want to take a few seconds here, give people some time to sign on with us. Make sure that they hit like as they're seeing this live video. Of course, if you don't know, I actually go live nearly every week. I try to, at least, unless I'm sick or something happens with my kids. And so I just come on, I chat about things for this fabric shop. So, of course, I'll show you new fabrics and fun stuff like that. I also share with you projects I've been working on. So I promised that 2019 my sewing was going to go a lot slower this year. I was going to focus more on projects that required detail work and things that required me to take just a little more time and get things just right. So I just want to make sure that you're liking this video as you pop on and you say hello so that I know who's here. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't like these videos to run more than about 15 minutes. I mean, you have a life. I have a life. I mean, I have kids, so I have stuff to do, but I don't really have a life. So over the last few days, if you're in my Facebook group, I was debating what pattern to buy with my Upcraft Club credits. And I ultimately decided on the Itch to Stitch Irena. Welcome, Donna. Welcome, Susie. And welcome, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As I was saying, I ended up buying the Itch to Stitch Irena with my Upcraft credits. And that is what I'm wearing now. So I'm going to step back so I can give you guys a look and talk a little bit about my experience with it. And so you can see them, and it's a little hard to see with black on black. Sleeves are a little big. That tends to be a problem I always have, but I really love this. It is super comfy, and the fabric is, of course, a double brush poly from our shop. Welcome, Lab Deb. So underneath this, I'm actually wearing my House Morgan Abby, and she's one of the designers that I've really been really pleasantly surprised with this. Last year, she just started out, and her patterns are just perfection. So if you're looking for some undergarments, camis, little bralettes, she includes cup sizes, and they're absolutely amazing. I love them, and it works great underneath this top. So Itch to Stitch Irena. I started with a size 10 shoulders. And I actually sized up just a little bit so I could squeeze my bust in without having to do a full bust adjustment. And then my sleeves, I think, are a size 8. And then all the way down at the bottom is a 6. So Itch to Stitch kind of drafts for more of a pear-shaped body, and I am definitely not a pear. Welcome, Lori. So I had to make some adjustments. Of course, this is just my muslin. And the reason why I picked this pattern is that even though it's kind of just a t-shirt, it's not. This square neckline requires you to take your time, and you have to put in stay stitching and clip corners and really line everything up nicely. So it was nice to take my time and get it exactly right. I wanted to show you something. Just a second. Actually, I have this ready. There. Here we go. So I was really impressed with the back neckline on this top. So it's actually 2 pieces, which I have a lot of patterns with a similar neckline, and they are not 2 pieces, and they don't fold, and there's nothing good happening. So this is actually the back neck pattern piece, and when it folds up, you see where this connects to the front, and then this makes center back, and it sits so nicely. I tend to have a problem with backs of necks pulling my neck forward, so it's fabulous to have a neck that sits flat but doesn't pull on the back of my neck. I never on my own would have figured out this bit of magic, but it works great. So I really love that about the pattern. As I was saying, Itch to Stitch drafts for kind of a pear body shape. I am an inverted triangle, so that's like the exact opposite. So I used a 10 shoulders, 10 bust, 10 waist, and then graded all the way down to the size 6 hips. And even that seems a little bit big, so I think next time I'd probably go bigger. And then definitely I want to size down on the sleeves. You can see there's a lot of extra fabric in here, and I don't think that was the intended look. I naturally have really thin arms, and so I'm always like sizing down. And even though I sized down 1, I could probably size down to like maybe like a 4. But that's going to take a little bit more work. And for muslin, this worked out great. So obviously that's just one garment for the last entire week. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm a very prolific sewer. But I also have a baby, which means that my sewing time isn't as big as I would like, but I have worked on a really amazing project. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I've been working on a fur cape. So this was actually a special request from my photographer friend. And she said, well, I will trade you, if you make me a cape, or actually a set of capes, I'll trade you in photography time. And you know, that is a great trade-off. And so I have completed my fur project for the year. Every year I make something in fur, and after I finish it, I go, I am never sewing fur again. And so I want to take some time to give you some really important tips if you're going to be working on a faux fur project. So step number 1, do not ever be like T. Clean all of this off, because there's going to be fur everywhere. And you know what? I didn't do that. And there was fur everywhere. And I'm probably going to be picking fur out of my fabric for like the rest of my life. And my nose has been stuffy. So if you're really sensitive, you really have sensitive sinuses, I wouldn't blame you for wearing a mask, because I know I have fur up there and it's really tickly and just kind of itchy, and I sneeze and it's just, I'm not sick, it's just irritating. So if you're sensitive, wear a mask. Yes, you will feel incredibly silly, but you won't get hair up your nose. I had hair on my nose, hair on my clothes. There was hair on my baby. I mean, he wasn't even in my sewing space, but I got hair on my baby. So if that stuff bothers you, that's a really important thing to take into consideration. Make sure your space is super pristine clean so that when you're done, you can get up all the hair. Next up, when you are working with fur, you need to pay attention to which way the fur lays, because how ridiculous would this look if it was like this? Yeah, that was not the look we were going for. So pay attention to which way the fur lays. And I'm going to give you this really secret tip, and try not to think I'm insane, but you need to brush your fur. So we have cats. We have a pair of these gloves specifically for our cats, and they work really good. But this worked great for brushing the fur. So the reasons why you have to do that: when you go and trim up all your pattern pieces, everything you trim, there's going to be fur everywhere. Okay, so you're going to need to wipe down the fabric to get that fur up. But then you're also going to have fabric all over your cutting table. And this has just the right texture of nubbies that you can just wipe, and get all the fur caught on the nubbies and get your cutting table cleaned up really fast. So, I mean, I believe Kevin bought these on eBay, and it was like $5 for a pair. You can buy them in a pet store, and they're probably like $10 or $15. But if you're going to work on a lot of fur projects or faux fur, you definitely need something to be able to brush your fur. So I know it sounds crazy, but it's really important. Looks like I'm missing all kinds of comments. Lori is saying, I take masks from the doctor's office to sew with Minky or fur. That is so smart, Lori. I love that. That's just brilliant. So yes, you can obviously buy those masks at any pharmacy. Let's see. Donna is saying real fur or fake fur. This is fake. I am not someone that would feel comfortable sewing with real fur. I respect those that do, but that's not something for me. This is fake fur. And as it was crazy expensive. At least more than what I normally pay. I paid, I think, $30 a yard. It is really expensive. However, the quality I got was amazing. So it was kind of a trade-off. But definitely faux fur. I bought it on Etsy, and I'll be happy to share that in the group later, because Simply by Tea is never going to carry faux fur. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's kind of fun to play with sometimes, but it's something that I do once a year. Once a year, I get tricked into it and I go, it won't be that bad this time. And then guess what? It is totally that bad. There is fur everywhere. I'm going to have fur forever. So we've got to the cleaning up your sewing area, brush the fur. So you're going to, if you use this kind of glove, you can use it to wipe all of the seams that you just cut, and it'll get a good portion of it. Also, take it outside and shake it. I mean, it wasn't that cold the day I was working on these, so I went outside and I shook them, and there's like fur all over, or faux fur all over my front yard. And I'm sure my neighbors thought I was some kind of psychopath, but whatever. Who cares what the neighbors think? Get less fur inside the house. So there was that. Another tool that you're going to need is a lint roller. This isn't so much for the fur. I mean, the furs, you're going to use the little brush thing, but you want a good lint roller. So I actually had some really inexpensive ones that I'd been using for a while, and they didn't do a very good job. And I was always fighting with them, and I could never get them to tear cleanly. So I went ahead and I bought a higher end one. And you know what? It really does make a difference. I mean, there's some products where you can totally buy generic and it doesn't matter. This isn't one of them. So definitely have a good lint roller, because you're going to need it to get the fur off of yourself, to get fur off any other weird places, like on your curtains. I have curtains right here. You guys can't see those. I have curtains right here. So of course I had to go back and lint roll all of that off. I mean, the fur goes everywhere. I had to get it off the back of the couch. It was just insanity. But of course, they look so cute. So I did use the flannel from the shop, and I think the brown color just looks so good together. And then I hid the button on the inside so that when you wear it, it's all hidden. So I'm going to go ahead and get the women's size out, because it will fit me. And then I can talk about my opinions about this pattern in general. Let me unbutton this button. I mean, it is so cute. Ugh. And it's actually incredibly warm. I mean, look at it. It's fabulous. And my friend has plans to take pictures of it inside the local ice castles. So down in Dillon, Colorado, they set up these ice castles, and she has all these photography shoots set up. And one of the options of the accessories she has to play with will, of course, be these faux capes. And so fun. Like, I'm excited to see what she does with it. It's amazing. Here's my complaints about this pattern. I did feel a little bit ripped off. Not that I didn't know in advance. So the women's pattern, or adult pattern, only comes in 2 sizes, small, medium, and medium large. And I kind of felt like that was very simplistic and wasn't super awesome. And this is a Twig and Tail Travellor cape. I mean, it's functional, it works, and how much fitting do you really need on a cape? But it just felt a little bit ripped off. Like, I'm paying quite a bit of money for 2 sizes. I felt like it could have been a little cheaper. The other thing that bothered me is that the kids version has a 3-piece hood, which is left, right side, and a centerpiece. And I know part of the reason for that is so that you can add in all the cute little ears and stuff. But the women's hood was just a left and a right and that kind of curve. And so it just doesn't give you the same shaping. Gwen is laughing that I paid $30 a yard for faux fur. Let me tell you, I have sewn a lot of faux fur, even if it drives me crazy. Oh, see, I've got fur in my nose again. And I have bought the faux fur from Joann's, and it was a pain to work with, and there was fuzz everywhere, but I wasn't really impressed. And, you know, I care about fabric. Fabric means a lot to me, and it needs to feel good. And the fur from Joann's just didn't feel amazing to me. I'm like, I'm paying a lot of money, and if you've ever bought the faux fur from Joann's, it is expensive, and it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it just wasn't impressive. I will say that this faux fur really did impress me. I mean, the quality of it was so good. The way it was adhered to the fabric that it was put on. When I trimmed it, it's super, super thick. Like, I mean, I would actually stay warm under there. So totally worth it. I don't normally spend $30 a yard. I think the only other thing that I've bought that was in that price range was some wool interlock for some wool diapers. So I personally don't tend to buy really expensive fabric. It just gives me a heart attack. But yeah, so $30 a yard. I was a little disappointed with the pattern only because they weren't a perfect match. So if I had made a hood, the hood wasn't going to match from the kids version to the adult version. And when I'm making mommy and me sets, I really want those things to match up. I'm going to go ahead and read through these comments again. Facebook does a horrible job scrolling for me. Sharon is mentioning that she used a can of air the last time she sewed faux fur. I would worry that would just blow it all over the place, but maybe it works better than I think it does. The other thing, absolutely clean your sewing machine when you're done. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw my post today about how I cleaned out my sewing machine and stopped getting skip stitches all over the place. I mean, so you should be cleaning your sewing machine regularly anyway. I mean, every few projects, pop the bobbin case open, clean it all out. But if you're working with poly fleece, faux fur, minky, clean it after every project. Sometimes clean it in between your projects. Like, that stuff gets everywhere and it's getting inside your machine. The longer you leave it there, the harder it is to clean up. So make sure that you're cleaning out your bobbin case, because otherwise you are wasting your time. You're going to have bad stitching, you're going to make a mess, and ultimately you can end up really hurting your machine. So keep it clean. Oh, Susie was asking what the camisole was again. So the camisole that I'm wearing is by House Morgan, Morrighan, and it is the Abbey. I've shared flat lays of mine. I'm obviously not going to take my shirt off and show you my camisole. It would be a bit much. I don't want to blind the children. But I really love it because it comes in so many different cup sizes. So I was actually able to just print the pattern and sew it and not have to make like 15,000 adjustments and go, oh, well, I need to adjust for this and that and the other thing. Nope, it just worked. So I actually don't have any big shop announcements this week. We're still waiting on that Under Armour. And actually, the warehouse has not received it yet, so they haven't packed it and shipped it to me, which is disappointing, but we can wait for a good thing like that. And let's see what else. Yeah, that's really all I've got. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. Of course, I'm going to go figure out which shop I bought this from on Etsy and link the exact one. They had, I think, 2 different colors. But yeah, it's thick and beautiful, really expensive, but still, like, the quality is totally worth it. So I definitely have to give their shop a shout out, especially since there is zero competition between me and them. Never going to carry faux fur. So thank you everybody for joining me. It has been really fun. Oh, hold on. I've got people with more comments. So Margie's talking about using burnout velvet, and she said her blinds are all sparkly. So glitter can absolutely get everywhere. I think it's the nature of glitter. Our glitter French terry does not tend to sprinkle glitter dust everywhere. I mean, it's still a little glittery, but not too bad. Caroline is saying no, but I do clean it though. So I'm guessing, oh wait, hold on. I missed this. Sorry. I'm not wearing my glasses and I can't see far away. Caroline said, I definitely clean my sewing machine regularly. Looks around hoping lightning bolt doesn't strike me. Well, Caroline, I mean, it's important to maintain our machines if we want them to do good work. Gabs is saying that my makeup matches the fur fabric, and yes, it absolutely does. I'm really enjoying this kind of like more muted, not super in your face. I mean, you guys know I love glitter. Like, I could just glitter my whole face. But yes, I definitely kind of toned it down today to really match the fur. Thanks, Carla. Carla says, you look gorgeous tonight. Love the lip color. This like pinky, purpley, fuchsia color is really just my jam. I mean, I've got like 14 different versions of the same thing. And I could probably make do with one since they're pretty much all the same, but it's all good. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me tonight. Make sure that you like and share this video to any groups that you might know that would enjoy it, or even just share it on your wall. That actually just helps us get more traffic to the video for people who didn't get to see me live. Thanks, and I will see you again next week.